Okay, welcome back to Ag Science 2 today, kids. We are going to be talking about plant science today. So if you guys could please get out a piece of notebook paper. I have your bell work assignment on the board to my right, your left. If you could please write on the piece of paper how you think plants receive nutrients and water. So who has an idea on how plants receive their nutrients and water? Who wants to volunteer their answer? Yes, Lindsay.
It gets sucked up out of the ground.
Good. What maybe sucks it up?
I don't know.
Maybe roots or their stems? Good. Today we're going to talk about how plants receive their nutrients and water. So those are all great ideas, but we'll discuss those in detail in a little bit. So here I have two different, well, they're the same type of flower. You guys can look at those. But they're two different colors. Now, how do you guys think those colors, the flowers became those colors?
Pigment.
Water.
Yeah, great. But today our experiment's going to change the color of leaves of flowers, but with food coloring. So it'll be a little bit like those flowers, but not so dark in color. Okay, so we have our carnation flowers here. Okay, so you guys will all get to cut the stems, stick them in some water here in food coloring. We have our graduated cylinders. You all have one of those for each of you to do. We have water, easy for you guys to pour in your cylinders. Some extra water. We're going to put some paper towels down so we don't stain the desk or have any issues with that. And then we have our food coloring. So you have lots of choices to pick what you want to put in your cylinders. And then for cutting the stems, I have some scissors and a knife. So I'll leave those in the package there. Okay, so who wants to read the first procedure, number 1? Okay, Sarah.
Fill one graduated cylinder with 30 milliliters of water. Fill another with 60 milliliters of water and a third with 90 milliliters of water.
Okay, so you're going to take one and fill it with 30, another with 60, another with 90. So then we'll just measure it out with this water here, okay? So for all of these three, you're going to add 20 drops of green food coloring, which is in this container here. So you guys can split up amongst yourselves and work on that. We're going to fill, actually 3, it says 2, but we have 3 extra cylinders here, graduated cylinders. We're going to put 45 milliliters in those, and you guys can figure out who wants to pick the random 3 colors, put 20 drops of food coloring of those colors in the other 3 cylinders. Does that make sense? Okay, so before we put the flowers in the food coloring, what do we need to do so that the stem's not so long, not so much hanging out?
Cut it.
Right. Now, does everybody know how we're going to cut the stems? Has anyone?
Unlike the stem be slanted and cut it diagonal.
Right. So I'll show you,
Should
and
you
then
cut
you
it
guys.
underwater?
Yes. We're doing it not the flower people way. But you're just gonna cut the stem at an angle. So then you guys can all have a chance to do that. And then once it has water, we'll stick it in like this. Okay? And I also put in here that you are supposed to cut it underwater, but being this circumstance in the classroom, we will not be doing that today. So when we have all those cut, we're going to place a flower in each cylinder. Now I have 1 extra flower, and what we're going to do, I have a sample here. We're going to, someone will cut the stem, if you can see how the stem is cut in half. We're going to cut the stem a little bit longer because we're using a longer cylinder here. So we're going to cut it in half, and we're going to stick 1 half in one cylinder here, and another half in the other cylinder. Okay? Does that make sense? And what, well, I'll wait to do that. So once we have all of that set up, on the back of your guys' procedure sheet, I have attached a prediction, your hypothesis sheet. So you can go ahead, when you get the first 3 done, you can make your hypothesis on what you think is going to happen with the leaves once they sit in the food coloring for 24 hours. For the second part, there's some questions there for you guys to answer about the the other 3 that we've done here. And then the bottom is for results. So, does everybody have any questions about that? Any questions on what we're going to be doing?